What if Vegeta and Goku's lives were swapped at around birth? While taking some liberties, what if we follow the former as the lead protagonist of Dragon Ball Z? Last time on the Super Vegeta Den redraw project, Vegeta traveled with Bulma to Kame House to visit some old friends and to introduce them to his young son. However, an unexpected visitor would arrive to threaten the newly become family man. Unfortunately for him, he would stand no chance against the Earth's quick-tempered powerhouse. But calling in some allies from space, how will he fare against the likes of Nappa and Kakarot?
This is part 3 of an ongoing series. Catch up fully using the link in the description.
After sensing the pair of invaders vaporize an entire city, Vegeta rushes to the scene wondering why they suddenly started blasting. Did something provoke them, or are they merely sadistic maniacs? He increases his speed to find out, not wanting any more harm to come to the planet or its people. As the villainous pair hover above the remains of the city, the short-lived screams and panic of its citizens dissolve into nothing more than the settling debris of granified concrete and limestone, snuffed out before they ever had a chance to know what's going on. Nappa cackles out to his partner what a good job he did, taking much delight in the devastation he's caused. Though, his counterpart retains a stern expression. Clicking a scouter, a solid beep emits from the device as he mumbles they'll continue this little party later. For now, he wants to find Vegeta. Perhaps he wants to exact revenge for Raditz's death. It shouldn't take too long to find him in a world like this. He should stand out quite easily from all these weaklings. Scanning the Earth, and with a little luck picking the right direction, it takes but mere moments for Nappa to get a read on his location. And as it happens, it appears Vegeta is already coming their way. As Kakarot himself locks onto the energy reading with his scouter, his power reads 3,500. He takes this in for a moment before telling his lesser he should be able to handle this on his own, much to the satisfaction of the brute. It would appear Kakarot doesn't consider Vegeta a credible threat at this moment in time. The leader of the two Saiyans resolve that they go and meet him halfway. They should show proper etiquette to the prince after all. Blasting away, Nappa shouts out in laughter how great this planet's gravity is. It's so low he feels completely weightless. It should be no problem beating Vegeta now that they're light as a feather. However, his superior doesn't take the same joy in the situation. Weightless or not, he thinks to himself how Vegeta made a big mistake in coming here. He should have never even set foot on this planet in the first place. But why would Kakarot be so furious at him for coming here? Is there something that happened in the past we're not aware of? Sensing their approach, the aforementioned realizes they're headed his way, and they feel a lot more powerful than that other lackey from before, referring to Raditz. In the previous video, the prince was easily able to handle the low-class warrior. As he lied dead on the ground, Nappa and Kakarot would begin communicating through his scouter. Vegeta could tell simply from that brief conversation who of the two voices was the more formidable. Smirking, Vegeta muses to himself that this could be fun. It's been a very long time, if ever, when he was last able to enjoy a fight. Maybe this could be the thrill he's been waiting for. The trio all race towards each other's positions, the life-swapped Kakarot and Vegeta about to meet face-to-face for the first time. Will Vegeta's natural-born talent be enough to overcome his Saiyan brethren, or is the reading on their scouters the full extent of the prince's power? After having zeroed in on each other, both parties meet in the middle of a barren wasteland. As if on cue, a cold, gusting wind sweeps into view, mirroring the frigid tension between them. The prince finally decides to break the eerie silence. He wonders to himself that if these two lunatics have traveled months to get here, they must have a pretty good reason. Kakarot responds with a lighthearted chuckle completely lacking in sincerity. He takes a pot shot at Vegeta's diminutive stature, claiming he's a lot shorter than he thought it'd be. His underling echoes this mockery. They claim the only reason they came to this backwater planet was to punch Vegeta in his pitiful princey face. Observing their armor, tails, and attitude, Vegeta realizes that these two are also Saiyans. He ponders the possibility of learning more of his origins and ancestry. But, in stark contrast to his canonical counterpart, Vegeta abandons the idea and ardently declares that the Earth is his home, and he will fight to defend it from any would-be invaders. For its sake, he's going to kill the both of them. Familiar with these sorts of antics and speeches before, The Saiyan we used to know as Goku rolls his eyes and exhales with a tired sigh, apparently retaining his love of battle for this story, and also his general lack of interest in conversation. He then instructs Nappa he's up. No need to dirty his own hands for the time being, though his underling is happy to comply. Savoring the moment, the giant warrior slowly approaches his opponent. Clacking his fists, he informs Vegeta it looks like he'll be fighting him first, and pitting Nappa's 4,000 against Vegeta's 3,500. This should actually be a good test for the prince. The invader screams for his foe to come entertain him before bellowing out a confident fit of laughter. The ground below them begins to tremble as the alien powers up for the battle. His veins swell, popping beneath the skin as his energy cracks in the wake of his own strength. But our hero isn't intimidated. He warns the Earthling to prepare himself. What? Overestimating their own technology, Vegeta's power skyrockets to over 8,000, then 9,000. And even after hitting 10,000, it refuses to stop rising. Immediately realizing the predicament he's in, Nappa can only stare on in horror, jaw gaping what's going on. At last, it comes to a settle at 13,000. But that can't be! That means this guy can actually control his power level. He can raise and lower it at will. Turning back to Kakarot, Nappa cowers that there's no way he can win. What should he do? As his counterpart tells him, simply enough, he fights. Beginning to argue what a lost cause that would be. Kakarot scowls at him to insist he just begin already, or does he want to shame him by running away? Stuck between a rock and a hard place, it appears Nappa is fated to fall to either Vegeta or his longtime comrade today. The expression on his face tells us everything we need to know. Getting his head back in the game, he bellows out he's an elite warrior too. He can do this! With that powerful explosion, Kakarot shifts his location, cursing that moron totally forgot he was here too, right in the line of fire. Nappa frantically looks around wondering if that blast did it. Is he dead? But Vegeta questions if he really thought that would be enough. Though able to fire off one of his most powerful attacks at Vegeta at point-blank range, Kakarot can already tell Vegeta was fast enough to repel it. Pretty impressive. As we see for ourselves, Nappa kneels before his opponent, his situation looking more dire than ever. And now holding his mouth in pain and growing more frustrated by the second, he's unable to remember the last time he faced an opponent he was so overwhelmed by. His own teammate taunts that it looks like the brute is outmatched in both speed and technique. What will he try next? He better think of something fast before his foe quickly gets the better of him. Surprisingly, Nappa's face doesn't show much sign of defeat, outside the blatant damage, of course. He optimistically calls out for Kakarot to listen well. With no other choice, a Saiyan doesn't merely fall in battle. One way or another, he will make his own impact on this fight. He will show him the prideful death of a true Saiyan. Charging ahead, Vegeta wonders what he could possibly be planning. Surely he knows how outmatched he is. When Nappa snarls, he's going to enjoy going to hell with the prince. He better prepare himself. Using his own body as a medium, Nappa detonates himself, causing a giant explosion. Our hero appears no worse for the wear, although he has to admit he didn't think Nappa would go so far as to kill himself. The air clears to reveal the statuesque remains of his former foe. Ironic given the events of the Buu saga in our own reality. As Kakarot comes out of nowhere to crush the figure into pieces, completely remorseless at the death of his longtime ally and likely former mentor. Expecting this after the new scouter readings, Kakarot admits Nappa didn't do too bad for an amateur. It's only unfortunate he didn't manage to deal any damage whatsoever. With Vegeta making easy work of Raditz and Nappa, what could Kakarot possibly bring to the table they could not? Especially Given at this point in the story we know, Goku wouldn't have stood a chance against either of the Saiyan invaders without the training of King Kai. So what makes him so confident now?
Thank you for watching. This video was funded by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the Super Vegeta Den redraw project, there's still much of the story to be told. So if you'd like to help, find out how in the description.